You've seen it in movies like The Revenant or The Grey. A small band of cavemen huddle together for warmth around a small fire while a blizzard rages around them. But it's not just the cold that threatens them. If they don't find food soon, they could freeze to death. When we think about the Stone Age, we tend to imagine hot climates with lush vegetation and warm weather year-round. But for much of human history, our ancestors experienced freezing temperatures and snow, ice caps and glaciers, hunting megafauna in the middle of an ice age. So how did prehistoric humans survive the ice age? Stay tuned and find out. The Ice Ages. Whenever we talk about the Ice Age, most people picture an endless winter, where thick layers of ice cover the Earth from pole to pole. But in reality, the Ice Age was a series of colder periods spread across millions of years, separated by warmer interglacial periods that were often just as long or even longer than the Ice Ages themselves. The most recent Ice Age began about 115,000 years ago and ended around 11,700 years ago when the climate started warming at the beginning of the Holocene epoch, which we live in today. But this recent Ice Age wasn't the first one. There have been many Ice Ages over millions of years, with the Earth entering a glacial period every 100,000 years or so, and it won't be the last. Some scientists predict that we will enter a new Ice Age about 1,500 years from now. So while we can't say exactly what caused each individual Ice Age, we do know that these periods of colder temperatures are a regular occurrence in the Earth's history. Ice Ages are usually marked by significant changes in the environment. During the coldest periods, glaciers expand, sea levels drop, and different parts of the world experience very different climates than they do today. While the entire planet is affected by Ice Ages, their effects are more significant in some areas than others. For example, during the last Ice Age, the American continents were largely covered in ice, while Europe and Asia had large ice sheets in Scandinavia and northern Russia. Meanwhile, the Middle East and North Africa became drier and more desert-like, while the Amazon rainforest turned into a savanna. It wasn't all bad news, though. In Europe, the Ice Age created a land bridge between Great Britain and mainland Europe, allowing humans and animals to travel back and forth. This would have been great if those animals hadn't included woolly mammoths and other large mammals that humans hunted for food, surviving in the cold. So how did prehistoric humans survive the drastic changes brought by the Ice Age? Let's start with clothing. We often imagine early humans wearing animal skins wrapped around their bodies and maybe a fur hat on their head, but surprisingly, the oldest known clothing ever discovered consists of a cloak made of pine resin collected from trees and mixed with chopped animal hair. Early humans didn't sew this garment together, but simply cast the resin and hair mixture onto a flat surface and let it harden into a single sheet that could then be peeled off. Archaeologists found this piece of clothing along with several others in a Russian cave and believe it was created around 40,000 years ago by the ancestors of the Evenks, a group of Siberian people. The Evenks still wear similar resin cloaks today, proving that this style of clothing has remained useful over the millennia. But no matter what they wore, early humans certainly needed to keep moving to stay warm. Sitting around a fire without moving would have eventually caused them to lose body heat. So groups of people probably moved constantly, walking or running to increase their body temperature and keep their blood pumping. That might sound exhausting, and it was. Luckily, early humans had a secret weapon against the cold: meat. Eating meat raises your body temperature and provides energy to keep you warm. So prehistoric humans probably spent much of their time searching for food, hunting animals, and gathering food left behind by other predators. But there was a problem. Large animals like woolly mammoths required lots of people working together to bring down. Luckily, early humans had another advantage: intelligence. Humans are the only known species capable of cooperating in large numbers, coordinating actions with strangers who share a common goal. archaeologist Thomas Plummer explained to Live Science that humans can mobilize a lot more energy than any other primate because we can coordinate more people in larger groups. With enough people working together, humans could hunt animals that no other predator could, including large herds of wild horses and bison. Some people might have specialized in hunting certain types of animals, such as reindeer or bison, while others might have tracked and hunted large mammals like woolly mammoths. One way humans could take down these massive animals was by surrounding them and slowly starving them to death. Then they would wait until the mammoth entered a cave and quickly block the entrance. Then they would butcher the dead animal inside, making sure to use every part of its body. Shelter was also important for surviving the Ice Age. Early humans probably took shelter in caves when the weather turned bad, but some groups may have built simple structures using large stones or wooden posts covered with animal skins. These structures would have provided protection from the wind and snow, while also helping conserve body heat. What about the Neanderthals? While humans were able to survive the Ice Age, other hominins like the Neanderthals were less fortunate. According to the fossil record, Neanderthals disappeared from Europe around 40,000 years ago, right after the onset of the last Ice Age. Some experts believe that Neanderthals lacked the social complexity to effectively hunt large prey animals, forcing them to rely on smaller animals that were more difficult to find during the Ice Age. It's also possible that Neanderthals were unable to make warm enough clothes to withstand the cold temperatures, or that they couldn't build shelters to protect them from the elements. However, there's a third explanation that blames us for the Neanderthals' disappearance. Some scientists suggest that modern humans may have directly competed with Neanderthals for resources and intentionally killed them. This hypothesis is supported by genetic evidence that shows modern humans and Neanderthals interbred before the latter as disappearance. But whether humans and Neanderthals coexisted peacefully or were mortal enemies, both groups were able to survive the Ice Age. Why did they disappear? Despite the challenges posed by the Ice Age, humans not only survived but thrived. As mentioned earlier, humans cooperated in larger numbers than any other species, allowing them to take down large animals for food. Humans also had another advantage. They had bigger brains than any other primate, which allowed them to develop more complex tools and weapons. Human survival probably depended on creating and using tools made of a special kind of stone called flint, which could be struck with a hammerstone to create sharp flakes. These flakes could then be used to make knives, arrowheads, and other tools essential for hunting and cutting through animal hides to make clothing. Flint is a sedimentary rock composed of tiny pieces of quartz and other hard minerals. To make a knife from flint, a person would strike one side with a hammerstone until a thin flake broke off. The resulting edge would be incredibly sharp and useful for cutting meat or hides. During the last Ice Age, humans developed a type of spear thrower called an atlatl. This tool helped humans hunt big game more efficiently by giving them more power behind their throw. In other words, humans were able to throw their spears faster and farther, which meant they could take down larger animals that would otherwise be out of range. This technological advantage gave humans access to new sources of food and resources, allowing them to survive and thrive in the challenging conditions of the Ice Age. A world transformed. The end of the last Ice Age, around 11,700 years ago, brought significant changes to the world. As temperatures rose, glaciers melted, sea levels rose, and forests began to replace the open grasslands that had become widespread during the Ice Age. This shift in climate and vegetation had a profound impact on human societies, forcing many groups to migrate and adapt to new environments. For example, humans who had been following herds of reindeer and other animals across the northern latitudes found themselves without the familiar landmarks and resources they relied upon. Some groups moved south, while others adapted to the changing landscape by developing new hunting techniques and tools. This period of migration and adaptation led to significant cultural changes, including the development of new art styles, rituals, and technologies. In fact, some archaeologists believe that the warming climate and melting of the ice sheets may have actually helped spur the development of agriculture. As the Ice Age came to an end, the world became greener and warmer. This led to the rise of flowering plants and trees, which in turn attracted animals and insects. This abundance of life may have inspired early humans to settle down and cultivate their own food supply, leading to the development of the world's first agricultural societies. We may never know exactly how prehistoric humans survived the Ice Age, but by studying the tools, weapons, and clothing they left behind, we can piece together a fascinating story of human ingenuity and adaptability. From the invention of the spear thrower to the creation of clothing made from tree resin, humans developed innovative solutions to the challenges posed by the Ice Age, and in doing so, they laid the foundation for the future of humanity. Now it's time to hear from you. What do you think was the most challenging part of surviving the Ice Age? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content. Thanks for watching.